Hey York, welcome to our podcast where we will be sharing our student stories. From culture on campus to inspiring individuals, we'll give you an insight into our international student community. I'm Fedor, a first year PhD student in the Department of History. In this episode, we will be chatting to two York alumni about where their degrees have taken them. Today I'm joined by Liz and Marlon through the power of technology from all over the globe.
I'm Liz Romero and I'm from Peru. And I did my master in biomedical science, granted by and supported by the scholarship with from the British Council Scholarship, Women in STEM. And I'm currently in Lima, the capital of Peru.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marlene Moreno. I was studying the Master in Green Chemistry and Sustainable Industrial Technology. So, very happy to stay here. And right now, I'm joining from Genova in Italy.
Sounds very exciting. So let's get into it. First of all, let's go back to the start of your journey in York. What made you decide to study at York in the first place?
Well, I think I'm going to start. So I decided to study at York because in the field of chemistry, for example, they were the pioneers in adopting green chemistry methodologies. So I was very excited to meet the professors and joining this research community. Um, and also I was evaluating the fact of ranking the QS World University Ranking as one of the top global universities. And obviously, I also thought like, okay, it's not that far from London, so I will be a really good connection between like traveling my study time, um, between the north and the south part in the UK. Um, Also, I was before applying, I was chatting with international ambassadors, so it was really helpful because they were sharing with us their experience and telling us about the societies and the college they have. So basically, that makes me feel so excited, and I decided to join York.
I think for me, when I was exploring universities for biomedical science masters, I found that University of York stood out alone for its strong research focus, and also they were in fact high in the ranking for research in science, in biomedical science especially. But I was interested in the course program for this topic. I realized that they include hands-on research experience, laboratory research, which I was interested. So that stood out a lot for me.
Sounds really exciting, and I see that both of you did quite a bit of research before coming to York, which is always great. Now, sort of going towards nowadays, what have you been up to since you graduated from the University of York? What have you been doing?
So after finishing my master program, I became an employee at the University of York. So I was basically working as a staff. I was training and education coordinator in the chemistry department. So my role was mainly presenting my research and educational training materials focused on introducing um, green chemistry into the pharmaceutical industry. So I was collaborating with this European project for more than a half and a year. So that was a very nice experience after finishing the master. Um, and right now, I'm very happy. I'm sharing with all of you that I just started my PhD study at the University of Genova in Italy. So I'm literally just started, and I'm working in a project related also with green chemistry. But it's mainly about the chemoenzymatic techniques for the extraction of high value molecules, basically working with valorization of biomass. And yeah, so I'm very happy here. I go, I can't tell how excited I am for starting this new chapter in my life.
For me, after graduating, I decided to put myself outside my comfort zone. Prior this master, I was mainly experienced working in laboratory research and a small group of people. But after graduating, I wanted to thrive into new experiences in industry. And I did that for almost 2 years. My main role was managing operations within different departments. And eventually, I became a team leader in my area. And I think I gained valuable insight and transferable skills for my future career in science. And now that I came back to Peru and I've rejoined a nonprofit organization that helped develop programs for children and adolescents based in science empowerment. And the name is City Makers Lab, so please follow and find it in social media. We have a strong motive of make a social impact in Peru.
All sounds very, very interesting. And I like how both of you sort of took slightly different pathways, but you're both very, very happy, clearly, with what you're up to now. Now, going back to York, how did York prepare you for your career or your further studies?
So it was very impressive, the accessibility that the university has to create networking. And actually, I met my supervisor at chemistry event in York. So we connected. We started from there to connect on LinkedIn, and then sending my CV, etc., and started the application process. So I think that's a really huge opportunity for us to create networking with other people. So um, I think talking about the life in York is also part of the personal and educational part. So it was great now to realize how much I grew in the professional and personal aspect since I arrived in York. I was literally super shy person, but York provide me lots of skills to engage in academic field and embrace my potential at the same time. So I do believe that if international experience makes you pretty much resilient to go through all the things at the same time, but also, for example, at your I understood that 100% being a very independent student. And also, for example, after finalizing my master, I was in touch with the university who and all the team that is helping you with the applying for jobs, reviewing and assessing your CV, for example, and it was like absolutely handy. At the same time, being an international environment allows me to have like an open-minded and have no fear to give my opinion.
I think for me, your played a crucial role in shaping my ability to think critically and conduct rigorous scientific research. I think I found definitely a high standard of research and making laboratory reports and essays in a super top-notch level, which was great. Uh, but I also have to point it out the access to high specialized technologies and equipment, and that was super important in developing my dissertation's project. And I have to compare it that it was definitely something great to see after my experience in science in Peru, where maybe some resources were limited. And I agree with Marlene in the fact that your has a strong collaborative network and the possibilities of connecting with other international friends or other colleagues, or even having straight communication with the tutors and the professor, hosted an environment that can help you a lot to grow your network. And I think that's important because also the job that I got in York was for a reference from a friend that I met during my master. So I think that's a great part that York did in shaping my career and building some skills for my future studies as well.
Sounds really, really interesting, and I like how both of you mentioned the sort of networking opportunities in the university, which I can also testify to. That how did the University of York support you during your studies then, while you were still here?
Well, in my case, well, same than Liz, I was very lucky to be a British Council scholar. So the international team always helped me with everything, literally everything, since figuring out since application, my enrollment to the master course, and finding on campus accommodation, even my travel arrangements. So um, they are very welcome to talk with you, to have a chat, and to help you. I enjoy, for example, the fact of that the educational institution in the UK care about mental health, and they are very supportive. So everyone is open to hear from you if you need it. Um, I I really think that's very, very important. It was very supportive in my case, because sometimes you can feel this homesick and you have the opportunity to get advice. And so they also, I would like to highlight that the university also has amazing facilities to have a correct balance between life work and life study. So you can have at the same time many other activities such as sport, hobbies, activities outdoors, international meetings, for example. Um, I was really, really, really active all the time that I was in York. So, for example, there I have the chance to also teach Latin dance that I'm very passionate about. So I was studying my master, learning everything about green chemistry, but at the same time, like expanding my life because it's part of me. So I really, really appreciate that. So yeah, I also have a mentor during the first weeks. So in order to feel included, to get to know people, to help you if you have any question. So I really find it very, very helpful.
Yeah, I definitely agree in the fact that the university is really exceptional in prioritizing the well-being of the student. And I think this is super key factor for international students who comes not only with the academic challenge, but also with the cultural challenge of adapting, getting to know the manners that are proper from the British cultures, and other things that are important for communications, as it in the majority of cases can be a second language challenge as well. And I think personally that was a key thing for me from the University of York, because it was the year that we studied the master was the 2021. So there was still a COVID happening. Everyone was super supportive. And I think that's a particularity from the University of York. I think also the different opportunities for traveling. I remember with Marlene, we traveled to as part of the university activities, we traveled to Scotland. There was Robin Hood Bay, different towns near York, and that's yeah, and that's an international student. You are like, oh my God, you are looking something new. You are getting to know more about the culture of another country, and you are, however, surrounded by people that have the same interest, and it's a really great experience to have that as an international student. I think as well, the staff and the career services in the University of York are super helpful, and they have plenty of options when you are, as a graduate, want to be helped in the CV development or letters of presentations for work or PhD. I remember I have many talks with the professors about these topics, and all of them were super supportive in this area. And in general, I think York has a foster a strong sense of community, and it's easy to connect with like-minded individuals. As Malen mentioned, she liked dance, therefore she was involved in the dance group. In my case, I was more into the laboratory research communities, and I was able to find long-term friends uh, from these experiences as well.
I'm very, very happy that you mentioned both the academic side of the support that the university offers, but also other forms that support might take from going on various trips around Yorkshire and the UK as a whole to just even the smaller bits like the societies that you were involved in. So thank you very much for mentioning all of that. Now, the final question, which is again open to both of you, what was your favourite moment while you were at York?
I can choose literally only one. It's very difficult, but I will say my favorite moment in York was definitely the graduation. It was super nice feeling. I feel so grateful. I was very proud of myself for sharing the same vibe with my friends, uh, like joining the department celebration for us. Even when you are like about to get into the stage for getting your degree, it's it's a feeling that I can't explain literally. So it was very beautiful to see my fellows and to see their families. It was just very nice.
I think for me, I have to choose the presentation of my dissertation findings to the faculty members. And I think after months of research and troubleshooting experiments, for me it was going to the lab, and after that, writing down at night all my reports and all my data, and doing the analysis of that data was super challenging. And I think I feel really sort of powerful, and it gave me a rewarding feeling to present in a second language in front of super expert in that area, and answer correctly to their questions, and having a successful mark at the end. It was a really emotional moment. I remember I called my mom after that because I was super excited that I passed with a great mark the oral presentation. I think that, along with many moments with my international friends and like Marlene and other friends as well, it was super meaningful. I always treasure those moments when I think in the University of York.
These do really, really sound like inspiring and very bright moments indeed. Thank you very much, both of you. And just a reminder that once you graduate from York, you join a community of over 170,000 graduates from over 188 countries, just like Liz and Marlin. And with that, we'll call it a wrap. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.